Hi, everyone. I am Donna Reed, and this is Donna Reed Talks Voice. I am continuing to work with Rebecca. The last episode was about maybe a little over 3 months ago. So I have been working with Rebecca since then. And now we're just going to kind of try it again and check out where the progress is at and have you all see where we're at working on the specific problem that we've been working on. So, hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
And can you tell us a little bit what your journey has been and what you've discovered and what you've been doing?
Over the last 3 months, or just
Yes.
this week? Okay. Yeah, just as Dana said, we've been working together and we've been looking at different aspects, we've been working on my chest voice, and I've been looking at the chest voice while I was singing, and also my speaking voice, how that changed, and we've been looking at my breathing and different aspects of how to approach and how to energize, and how to work with the body, and all sorts of things like this. And yeah, it's a lot of just trying things and seeing how it goes, and then realizing that a lot of like each month I feel it got easier, and I felt like I could um, talk better and sing better, and it most of the time that correlated. So yeah.
So, what was really good as I've been working with Rebecca week to week is I would check in and I'd say, what did you do this week? What did you notice? What were you aware of? And she's been very, very much a student of observing herself, which is what we all have to do when we sing and when we're trying things, when we're trying to improve things. She's been really brilliant at just saying, I noticed this week, and I noticed that this week, and I tried this and that didn't work, and then I tried this and this worked. So she's really very studiously observing herself and trying things out. This is what we all have to do when we try to learn how to sing and when we want to sing better. Not just kind of randomly judging and saying, oh, I don't like that sound, I don't know what to do, or I'll try this or with it, but just observing. So, what did my body do? What did it sound like? What did I feel like? What happened here? And knowing also that, oh, I've been talking all day long and now I'm really tired and now I want to sing and it's not working. And then that's legitimate. Okay, yeah, okay, it's not working. It's you're a little tired or whatever. Or I haven't been talking at all today. Then I open my mouth and it's easy, or it's not easy, or whatever. The observation aspect of it and the self observation aspect of it is really, really important. So Rebecca's been doing that brilliantly. And she's also a teacher. So, that helps because she obviously observes her students. And then I find as a teacher and my students who teach, we learn a lot for ourselves, for our own singing by the teaching. So because we observe what they're doing, then we observe what we're doing. You could kind of put all of that together, which is why observing these lessons on my YouTube channel is also helpful because observing something outside of yourself and seeing, oh, yeah, that's similar to me, or oh, no, that's not similar to me, helps us with the self observation. So, anyway, all of that, I'll stop talking and we'll get right to it and we'll see where Rebecca is at today. So, no, let's do the breathing. So, let's do the inhale, exhale thing. Great, 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 great. Now, I'm going to ask my listeners out there if they noticed in watching Rebecca breathe, did they breathe as well? Because I know when I watch my students do those four breaths in the beginning, I breathe. I breathe with them. I can't help it. It's like, okay, let's take a breath. So, anyway, just notice. Did you breathe? Did you not breathe? Just notice what happened. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's start with our ooh. Get that head voice going, right? Just 3 notes, real easy. Yeah, good. Good. Just get going. That's easy. Obviously, it's not constricting, never does. That's fine for you. Let's go right to the chest voice and see what it wants to do. Let's do our ga ga ga.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Okay, not bad. Now, have you sung today at all?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit earlier on, or just before this, or?
Like 5 hours ago, 5, 6 hours
Oh,
ago.
okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine, fine.
Been some time.
Now, how did those chest voice sounds feel?
They felt free, but they felt like very, like not safe. If I would have given just like a touch more energy, they would have crumbled. I felt like.
Oh, okay, that's a great observation. All right, so I'm going to eliminate the G because we don't want a lot of energy. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Do it with a, no, let's skip the K. Let's do it with an A vowel. So just A. It could even start a little glottal. A, not too loud, not the big obnoxious guy, but just easy, bright A. Yes. Good, good. Good, not bad, not bad. That's the F sharp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good, good, good. So what I decided is, because you said you really had to back off on it, I wanted to do something that wouldn't have any kind of depression of the larynx, and the g g g. Not that it depresses the larynx, but it could give the sense of the sounds being a little bit lower, and I wanted the chest voice to be quote unquote a little bit higher. In other words, not so much that the larynx was up, but a little bit more, less deep, let's put it that way. And so doing the A vowel makes it less deep, and that actually made it a little bit more efficient. And that felt okay, right?
Yeah, completely.
Good. Now, can you start? This is tricky, and I'm giving you tricky stuff right off the bat. Can you start with that A on the bottom note?
And then go down again. Like
Yeah,
after
and then
that.
go down again. Now, when you first came down to the last one, that do you hear that clarity there?
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Do it exactly the same way. And when you hear that sound that you first get into when you come back to the bottom note, just tell your brain, okay, voice, just keep that sound.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your body seems to need to do, you just kind of think it and say, just keep that clear sound. And the first one might be a little funky. Don't worry about the first one.
Okay.
Brilliant. I love that. That's good. Now, what did you observe when
That
the
was
first one was pretty easy and then you came back down? What happened?
Yeah, that was weird because I was like, oh, the first one's easy, so that one's gonna be easy, and then the last one was like, I don't know, it just felt different, and I don't know what happened.
Okay, and that's okay. I mean, how
Yeah.
could you know? It's not always something that you would actually know. But let's do the first one again. And once again, just exclusively use your ear and say, you know what, body, just give me that sound. And it may or may not work, but let's try it with that. Yeah. See, if the thing is, if your body already produced the sound, and if your mechanism is ready to sing that sound and it does it, then that's where we can do, since the Music Man is on Broadway now, the think system. So the think system is, okay, I've already sung that note in that quality. My body is capable of doing it. All I have to do is think that, and my body will say, okay, you want that? I'll do that again. It's like speaking. You know, when we know we can say a particular word, we just say, okay, I'm going to say the word, and we say it. We don't have to say, oh, I need to form my lips, and I need to do this, and I need. So once you get the sound, really, the think system totally works for you. That was brilliant. Yeah. Great. Now you're home free with the low chest voice. How does the top note feel for you?
It feels free. It feels pretty small, and actually, like compared to the low note, it feels almost heady.
Yeah. So what I like about it is that it's a nice, compared to what you're singing on the bottom, a nice strong sound. I mean, it's not belty big sound, but it's a nice strong sound. It's not as if it's getting weak. And yes, there is a slightly different heady mix to it, which is great. That's what you want as you go higher. We're going to keep starting with this guy on the bottom and then see what happens. I might do in a moment. No, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do the whole octave. Same thing with the A. And now we're starting much, much lower. So again, but you've sung this note already. You just kind of ease into it and see what happens. Yeah, that's the G.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
good. So compared to, the last lesson that we recorded, which was, a little over 3 months ago, these low notes are certainly much, much, much better. They're going down there, they're not getting that little gravelly thing, and they're much easier. I like doing this A vowel. Yeah, see? And it's even starting to get vibrato on the bottom. That's how free it's
Yeah.
getting. Yep. Real good. Sorry. You know what? Do this one again. now that was interesting. You noticed that top one kind of did something else, right?
Yeah.
Now, all of these on the top, as we've done the whole octave here, do they feel kind of heady? Do they feel heady with a little bit of a chesty mix? Do the ones below, as opposed to this one we just did, are they different in terms of a head voice chest voice ratio than the last one you just did? What can you say in terms of describing that and how you feel it and sense it?
The last one we did there, like the high note felt like it flipped into a much more heady quality. And like I could have kept it in the mix if I would have put like more energy to it. But because I kept the energy like the same, it flipped. And the other ones, they felt more heady going up, but they still all felt mixy.
Okay, great. And I'm going to explain something to my listeners out of what you just said, which was brilliant. Yes, exactly. Because you didn't give it more energy and you kept it basically the same energy level. Yes, that very top note, the last one that we did, which was a C sharp, went into more head voice. And you are correct. If you were to have given it a little bit more energy, go a little bit louder with it, you would have kept a similar mix to the bottom ones. Choices. Now, there's nothing wrong with the way it flipped. And if you want a little bit more of a mix, absolutely. And what I like about all of these that we did in the middle on the top notes of all these arpeggi, what I like about them a lot is that, yes, you have a really good chest voice mix in the head voice. It's not just heady head voice, but there's a really efficient chest voice thing going on there. Now, you wouldn't hear it as chest voice, but you hear it as a strong, clear sound.
Mhm.
And obviously, it feels very easy. And it comes from a free chest voice on the bottom. So, one of the things that was happening before with your voice is when we would get to, maybe C sharp, middle C, C sharp, in that area up into G or so, the chest voice would mix in such a way that just had a little bit of tiny shutdown on it. Now it's not doing that. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. But now let's see what happens if we go higher. And does that throw things off for us or does it not? Now, which way do we want to go higher? I'll tell you what, let's go fast. Let's do that. I'm trying to remember, do we usually do that on an A or do we do it on an E?
We haven't done E a lot, so
All
probably
right.
up.
You know what?
Usually we
Let me
don't
hear what
go
happens
fast
if you
up.
do that on an E. I'm sorry?
Usually we don't go up like very fast, I think. Most of the time we go up with the staccato.
Right. And I want to go fast instead. Now, I do
Yeah.
remember that. Let's try it on an E vowel and let me hear what happens. So just E fast. Obviously, as you go higher, it's going to open up. It's not really going to be an E. But let's hear what happens. So fast.
Mhm.
And don't worry if it's out of tune or not. It's just
Okay.
about going fast.
Can I hear the notes again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Exactly, just like that. And as you go higher again, it's not about precision of notes, it's just about
Okay.
flying and seeing where your voice wants to go. Good, and that was the D on top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very nice. We probably could have gone higher, but I didn't want to do that right now. Fabulous. Let's go right back down here. Let's see if we messed anything up or if everything's okay. Go back to the A. Or were we doing A? No, we did A, right?
Eh. Eh.
And we're starting low, 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 low. Okay. Now the first one was a little funky,
Yeah, it
but
couldn't drop down.
you came back down to it. So let's do it from the top down. Good. And how do those feel on the bottom?
They feel free. I feel like I don't know why, like the first one was like the freest, and like the other ones, I felt like as if I was using a touch too much energy, but I couldn't back off somehow.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah.
All right, do this one again.
Can I
Huh.
try again?
Yeah, sure, sure. You know what? No, no, no. Do it exactly the same way. Okay, what did you do differently?
I backed off like completely, and I made sure to like breathe out in the beginning so I don't have too much air.
Too much air. Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. All right, let's see. Try the same thing for this one. Now, how does that one feel compared to the one half step below?
I feel like it grabbed sooner than the one below.
Huh. Try this. I'm going to go even lower and see what happens. All right. And that's the F sharp. So the other one,
Okay.
the first one I did was the G.
Mm-hmm.
And now we had the F sharp earlier in the lesson. So
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting. Um, in the lessons that we've done between the last lesson that we taped and this one, just letting my listeners know, we have done these high notes before and then totally lost the bottom, as you recall. But this time we did these high notes, we went fast, didn't completely have the same free low notes that we had earlier in this lesson right now, but we didn't lose these guys altogether. So that's definitely a bit of an improvement there. But there's still something with these up here, as free as they sounded, that threw these guys off just a little tiny bit. So let me see if I can tweak that and fix that right now at this moment. Um, all right, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to start it higher, and we're going to do no, let's do with yeah, 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 yeah. But keep that very kind of high, and don't let it go
Mm-hmm. Eh, yeah, 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 yeah. Eh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, interesting. And that got a little funky, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So the movement of the tongue actually didn't help. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. Just one note all by itself and do it with an E vowel.
E. 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 E.
All right. Not loud, but that was free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes back to my thought earlier on in this particular lesson where I said it has to be a little bit quote unquote higher. So the tongue position with an E is actually like this. It's really kind of high. And when I had you go a ya 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 ya, it makes the tongue go down. Soon as the tongue went down, you lost the chest voice. So then I thought, oh, okay, if you're removing the tongue and the tongue is going down and you lost the chest voice, what happens if we use an E vowel and have the tongue sitting really high? In having the tongue sitting really high, you actually got a little bit of a freer chest voice. Now that's something I've never come across before, ever, ever. That's really fascinating. Okay, so we're gonna do this. You're gonna do E-I-E-I-E-I, and move your tongue as little as possible to do the ah vowel. In fact, establish the E first.
Mm-hmm.
E-I-E-I-E-I, and really barely, barely, barely move your tongue to sing the ah. And let's hear what happens.
Okay.
Oh, that starts to do something else. Did you hear that? The clarity of that ah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There were a couple little grabby guys, not grabby, but scratchy guys, and then there was that little clear one in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, what are you experiencing with the movement of your tongue and the E to the ah?
Um, I feel like the E is a lot more safe than the A, and I feel like the E needs more energy than the A. Like I feel like the E has the tendency to like go into a like very heady low voice, and I have to put a
Yes.
bit more energy to keep it chesty. And if I have the same energy with the A, it's gonna grab, so I have to like back off with the A.
Okay, that makes sense because the ah will obviously thicken the vocal cord slightly, give you a little bit more chest voice, and then you have to back off with that, obviously. Good, good, good. Do that same thing here with that in mind, the E, ya, 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 ya.
E, E, I.
Okay, 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 okay. Now with that E again, how much ratio head voice, chest voice do you sense with the E before you change to the ah?
That E was actually different than the E before. I feel like that E was more chesty than the E's before. The E's before were more mixy.
Great, which is what we're looking for. Just that little teeny tiny bit of more chest voice. Try one more time. See if you can just kind of ease into it.
E, I.
Now, what happens with the movement of the tongue? Is there a shift, even a slight one, when you get the clear ah and then when you get the scratchy ah? And you may not feel a difference, but there may be a slight something something.
Mm-hmm. Can I
Try
try
it again.
again?
Yeah.
E, E, I. No. Yeah. E, I. No, it doesn't
Okay,
want
now
to
it's
go.
not. Now it doesn't want to go there. All right,
Yeah.
fine. That's all right. That's all right.
What I thought before, like I felt like when I take like a bit more room, so the E feels more comfortable, then it's like more difficult to like get the A to not grab. But when the E is like smaller and more chesty, which isn't as comfortable for the E, it's like easier for the A.
Okay, so that goes along with my idea that the tongue has to be very high and the space actually really small.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it this way. And again, start with the E, let the
Mm-hmm.
tongue be really, really, really high,
Mm-hmm.
E, and the space teeny, tiny, tiny.
E.
Good. Now, without going ya, 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 just E, ya, and again, barely, barely move the tongue.
Mm-hmm. E.
Yeah, brilliant. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what did you notice with the tongue movement from the E to the A? Was it like really small?
Yeah, it was really small.
Great. Let's try a few more just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Barely, barely move the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see if we can do the F sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we got a little bit of it. Now, are you
Yeah.
noticing that kind of quote unquote that higher idea of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as deep or as low.
No, I mean, it feels chesty, so it kind of feels low, but it
Right,
doesn't feel like the very like spacious chest voice that is like
right,
that kind of vibe.
right. Now, tell you what, let's just do an experiment here, and I'm not going to do too low. We're try the chest voice, the one that's bigger, the kind of
Yeah.
ah, and let's just see, does it mess everything up to try to do it that
Mm-hmm.
way, or after we did the other thing, does that work?
Mm-hmm. On an ah.
On and ah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and big.
Ah.
Now, how does that feel?
That felt open and free.
Yeah, didn't sound bad. Let's see what the bottom guy does. Again, just approach it the same way. See what happens.
Ah.
Not quite as open, right?
No, like the low one wasn't. No.
Okay, what happens if you make it, that's a little bit of an what happens if you make it more of an ah?
Mm-hmm.
So really open ah, very broad ah.
Ah.
How's that one feel?
That felt better.
Still a little grab grab?
No, it didn't feel grabby, but the lowest one didn't feel as big and as deep in the body as like the other
Okay,
ones.
fair
But
enough.
it didn't
As
feel
long as,
like it would grab.
okay, long as it doesn't grab. And again, very broad ah 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 ah
Mm-hmm.
ah, very bright ah. Good, 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 good. And again, broad ah.
Mhm.
All right, and that's the F sharp again. Now, see,
Okay.
that's interesting. So, what we did with that E and that kind of high, very tiny kind of space thing is we freed something up. Then I said, okay, sing the ah that you're normally going to sing, because obviously this is the kind of ah you're going to want to sing ah ah ah. You don't want to have to always sing ah 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 and be very tiny. But then after doing that small ah from the E, you were able to get this bigger, much more of a normal chest voice. So
Mhm.
again, this really is the crux of what I do that is so different from what everybody else does. Is I set up the conditions, no matter how weird those conditions are, to get the muscles to coordinate in a different way so we can get something different going on, so that eventually you can just open your mouth, sing the ah, not even worry about it, which is where we want to get. But so far, this is a huge, huge improvement in terms of the low notes and in terms of everything. Let's just do right in the middle, just plain old ah, see what happens with it. And I'm letting you know it's a B flat below the middle C to the B flat above. Just see
Mhm.
where your voice wants to go. Ah,
And
and then back down.
the broad ah or
Whichever ah you want to sing.
okay. Ah.
Good. Do the same thing. Hold the top a little bit and then back down.
Ah.
And that's just in the middle, easy peasy. But how did that feel?
That felt really easy and free and like coordinated and everything.
Yeah, I like the sounds of all of that. They were really good balances. It was very smooth. Nothing seemed like it was shutting down. There wasn't a funky chest voice in the middle. It was a good chest voice, head voice ratio. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a note. Not quite as easy, right?
No.
Now, what did you do in terms of the breath that you took and the energy that you used?
I tried to take more air because I was thinking, yeah, it's a longer phrase, but I think I didn't use enough energy. I didn't, yeah.
I think so. And you know what? That's okay because that brings up yet another point that I always like to tell my students, and I will tell all my listeners out there. When it gets easy, and the first one was easy, that was easy, that was easy. So the one we did just before the high one, starting on the B flat on the bottom, that made that one an F. That's easy for you. But then we have the high B flat. Because everything else was so easy, there was that tendency, even though you took enough air, to under-energize it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but it's easy. I don't have to do anything. Whoops, it's a high B flat. Yeah, I do have to do something. So I'm
Yeah.
going to have you do it again. And you don't have to tank up. You don't need a lot of air. I mean, you need to take a breath. Be careful your body's not getting tight. You don't need to quote unquote support,
Yeah.
but you do need energy. Figure out where in your body do you give that energy. And it's usually rhythm, just a rhythmic energy to get you up there. And since it's a high B flat, let it sound maybe a little screamy, a little spready. Because
Hmm.
people, especially who sing classically, they sometimes over round and over refine things. So let that high B flat, just let it out there. Just almost
Hmm.
think chesty, although obviously it's not chesty, but just think that idea, right? Try it again.
Hmm.
Yeah, wonderful. Now I hope that everybody heard that with the siren in the background. New York City. But I heard enough of it to hear that that was really quite good. And how did that one feel compared to the other one?
Yeah, it felt a lot better. And it wasn't even like so much energy. I think it was just more like the focus that I had before.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Very good. So I'm really happy with all of that. Now, I'll tell you what. All right. Let's go back to our low note. All right, let me ask you this. I am going to ask you, what vowel do you instinctively, now this is going to be down to the G, and we're going to
Hmm.
just see what happens after doing that high B flat. What vowel instinctively does it seem might work for you? An A, an E, an ah? Do you have an opinion? If you don't have an opinion one way or the other, I'll make a choice. But I'm just wondering if you have a thought. Oh, I think I can get there with an A, or I could think I can get there with an A, or I think. Do you have a thought?
I kind of feel like I want to try it with the ah because we did the ah like right now, and I feel like that sound is like a place. So yeah, I
Okay.
kind of want to try it.
All right, give it a shot.
Ah.
And that's the G, and I'm happy. It got a little
Yeah,
scratchy at the end, but the beginning was right there.
yeah,
And that's after the high B flat. So I'm happy about that.
yeah.
Wonderful. So all of that is just progress, progress.
Great.
Brilliant. Well, we'll just keep working on it. You know it? And
Perfect.
we'll maybe a few months from now we'll do another recording and let our listeners know where we're at with all of it. But I want to emphasize to everybody out there, it takes time. it takes time to, fix whatever the problem might be. So, we might do this for a while and just keep showing subsequently, all right, this is where we're at here. Now this is where we're at there. Now this is where we're at there. So just being patient. One has to be patient with this stuff.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching Donna Reed Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.